Fan Yes Network here out at Jet Camp, and it's like, an anticipated heavyweight fight, and heavyweight's the right word for both of us, as we welcome in Rex Ryan. Coach, welcome. Nice to see you.
Good seeing you.
And for full disclosure, I do have to admit that I was escorted into Rex's office when I came here this morning, and he did first brandish a bat when he said hello. So first thing he did was threaten me with a bat. So after that, it was okay. But in all seriousness, and that's hard for you sometimes. But over the last couple of years, all this stuff, and I haven't spoken to you since the first couple of weeks you were here, maybe a month before the embargo. You have been really enormously outspoken. You have made a lot of proclamations, a lot of predictions. Is this all on the level, or is a lot of this just to kind of build up some energy, sell tickets? Is it real, or is it put on?
Well, I think, it's definitely real, but is there motives behind some of the things that I do?
Little showbiz?
Maybe a little bit, especially to, try to stir it up a little bit against some people.
Do you think it helps your team to talk like that?
I think it does. I think when you look at it, let's just take the New England game, for instance. We're playing in the playoffs. Everything, if I don't say something, everybody's going to talk about that 45-3 game, and that's all they're going to focus on. And I never wanted our locker room to, just keep hearing it over and over and over. So I was like, well, why don't I just challenge, Belichick? And that way it's like, because everybody's like, oh, he's going to get killed, he's going to do this. No, I even had it down to where I even told Tannenbaum, I said, at the end of this, it's going to be about, I was wrong. It wasn't anything to do with me against Belichick. It was about our teams. And I knew it was about our teams. But it was just, I wanted to deflect it a little bit.
All right. When you came here, you made statements. We're going to see the president soon. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Right. That first year was a little up and down. I mean, the defense played well, but you're breaking in a rookie quarterback. You're doing some things. You caught some very good breaks late. The Colts pulling guys out. You win the games. You get in the playoffs, which was advantageous, and then took advantage of it. Right. But stated, we're going to win it all. When that doesn't happen, do you feel like, oh, man, boy, I look silly for those proclamations? Or do you just say, hey, you know what? I thought it, and that's what I felt, and we move on?
Well, I think that first year, when I made that thing about, seeing the president and all that, right. I truly believe in my heart that by the time it's 4 years, that we'll win one.
So you think in 4 years, you've predicted each playoff that you're going to win, but you really in your heart think you're going to win a Super Bowl now in the next 2 years?
Absolutely. I think we'll win it this year.
So this year now you've already predicted the last 2 years, and you've been wrong in the playoffs.
But I think when you look at it, my first one is this. Number one, I truly believe it, that when we made the playoffs, I think we'd win it that first year? I couldn't say that. But
you did say it. You did say
when we made the playoffs, I was like, why not? Because we're set up.
But did you really think you were good, or was it just, hey, I got nothing to lose?
No, I knew we were good. We had the number one defense in football. We also had the number one rushing attack in football. By the way, I did make those predictions also.
Yeah.
But it's and then when we got there, when I made the parade thing, now, was it supposed to be in public? Somebody read it off of one of our boards and all that, and it came out there. But that's fine with me because, when I say I'm extremely confident in my abilities, but I'm more so confident in the entire organization's abilities, and that's why I'll make those statements. And again, the great thing, I'm going to be true to myself, and I said that from the day I took the job, whether win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be true to myself. When I walk out this door, and I think it's going to be, I'm not going to make this thing guaranteed, but I'm thinking 20 years. When I walk out this door, I'm going to be like, I did it my way.
Okay.
I'm going to get one shot in life to be a head football coach in this league. And I'm going to do it my way and have no regrets.
I made the point, and we're talking with Rex Ryan, Fan Yes Network. We're here at a Jet Camp, and the building didn't fall down on me when I walked through it. But you came in. The Jets had an image. It was very buttoned down. Tannenbaum, very buttoned down. Woody, kind of like the kind of quiet, reserved, the cap, kind of milquetoast owner, and you came in and I said, you made them the Lords of Flatbush. All of a sudden, they're talking like you. They become tough guys. The whole organization, brash players. Even Mr. T making predictions and being brash. Did you want to transform these guys that way? Is that something you did by design?
I don't know about all that. I just came in, and like I say, it was more about, having the opportunity. When Mr. Johnson hired me, it was about having that opportunity, and he wanted to hire me and wanted me to be me.
Did you act like that in the interview? Were you bold in the interview? Did you make kind of big statements in the interview?
I was truthful in the interview, and now Mike always says I wasn't because he goes, I'm not buying the kill philosophy, keep it likable, learnable,
right.
Because he says, that defense too hard to learn. But no, but he laughs about that one. But no, I was truthful. I was myself. I'd let him know about being dyslexic, being all that kind of stuff. I never wanted to hide that, and and it was just me. And I think our personalities. Woody wanted to hire me, and I think that was obviously that was important to me.
All right. What was different the second year? You go to the playoffs the second year. Now you're a better team the second year. Your quarterback's more complete. You're a better team. Probably have a harder road. But here you go. And you made the same prediction. You show up in Pitt, and let's be honest, Pitt in the first half knocked you guys off, just knocked the heck out of you.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
After making bold statements, what were you thinking? You're on the sideline, and Pitt's knocking the heck out of your team after you made a lot of. Now, you didn't predict that you would beat the Steelers. You never made any statements about the Steelers that week. You did the week before to the Colts. You didn't make any statements about the Steelers that week. Any predictions or anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I just never felt it like it wasn't like I thought we were going to get beat by the Steelers. That's not the case. But it was like everything I said when it was personal about me and Peyton Manning. The guy had beat me,
right.
2 times and all that, knocked me out of the playoffs before. AFC Championship game the year before, and then another time in the playoffs in 06 when we had one of the best defenses in the history of the game. So it was personal, and that's why I said, I just tell what I believe to be the truth.
When your team either wasn't ready to play or just got knocked around by a better team, what was your thoughts about the Pittsburgh game? What happened in the Pittsburgh game?
Well, I mean, I was as shocked as anybody, at first, and we got punched in the mouth, and then it was, we were on our heels. They make a big play defensively, and it was like, God. But when we were in the locker room, I'm like, man, I go, we can still win this game. I believed it, and I believed it in my heart. We just had to start playing like we're capable of playing. And obviously they're going to attack us differently when you're up, by 21 points or whatever it was.
Right.
That, they're going to play more conservative. I thought that would give us an opportunity. We made a lot of plays. The defense, we started tackling people, which was, a trademark of ours for the last 2 years since I've been here. But they were more physical than we were, and that's hard for me to say, but that's the truth.
Did you think you were going to win last year in the playoffs?
Absolutely.
You did?
I absolutely thought we were going to win it, and it's just like I couldn't wait to play. We knew we had to get through Indy, but it wasn't like I was, we wanted to face New England again. I wanted to show people that we are a way better football team, and both of us were 9-2. In that Monday night game. I thought it was going to be, we had the best week of practices that we had the 2 years I've been here. And then Jim Leonard gets hurt. And I never, at the time, I had no idea how big a blow that was going to be, because sometimes you come in, you pride yourself in that team, but it took so much out of us. And then, by the way, Brady's as hot as he's ever been.
Right.
And, they ran the score up on us. So it was like, okay, we're going to see you again. And I told Belichick that even. I said, all right, we'll see you for round 3.
We're talking with Rex Ryan. Now, I've sat here many a day and said, can this guy shut up? He hasn't won a darn thing. And he taught the Jets are the big brother, the Giants are the little brother. Mm-hmm. We're going to be the team to beat. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Can this guy ever give it a rest? Do you ever get to the point where you're saying, you know what, this is starting to sound hollow?
Well, I don't think it's going to sound hollow. I mean, I'm one of only 2 coaches in the history of the game that's gone to 2 championship games, replacing a team that never made it to the playoffs. So I think there's, might have that. Maybe there's a little substance.
Oh, so wait a second. So listen, no one can come in here and question that you haven't done a good job. 2 years, 2 AFC championship games. Now, your stuff about can somebody else beat the Jets, beat the Pats is silly. win a division title, win all your games. You don't need any help from anybody else. Don't ask anybody else for help. I mean, do it yourself.
Yeah, but that's a great one. Because,
why is that a great one?
Oh, it's a great one.
Win a division and get a home game. It's legal.
I absolutely agree with you 100%. But let's face it, man. I mean, they lost 2 games last year.
Right.
3 when you include the playoffs.
Let them stop losing to some bad teams.
And that's it. But the challenge has got to be like, hey, I mean, you can beat the Patriots. We're not the only ones if you'll play your A game. Don't worry about playing against the Jets. I mean, just overlook us
the last
and
couple
go
of
play
times
those
the
guys.
Pats have been in the playoffs, teams have beaten them. Ravens have beaten them. Giants have beaten them. So they haven't been winning.
The last 3
They haven't
games.
been winning championships. So they've kind of fallen off too. You know, and the Giants. See, the Giant fan, you're under his skin now. You're under the Giant fan skin because they think this guy hadn't won a darn thing. We've won 3 Super Bowls, been to 4. Clam up till you get one. And unfortunately, that game's on Christmas Eve, which I think is the worst thing in the world, because Christmas Eve is a day where it's very difficult because, Giant fans want to see you get your lunch that day.
No question. There's no question about it. And I'm not hiding that. Like, this game is going to be huge. And I'm not saying
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it's on the wrong day. But you're right. It's because they want you to get your – and listen, the Jet fans have been – they've been the second-class citizens for a long time. I mean, let's be honest, they have. So they love a lot of them. I think some have said to me, I wish our coach would tone it down. But I think the younger Jet fan, they love what you're doing. They love the idea that you're out there and you're, making predictions. But the Giant fans, they just want to trample you.
No question.
They just want to shut you out.
See, but here's the difference. That's what I want to do to them. So that's why that game's going to be huge. I'm not going to say, not come in and say it's a special game. No, it is a special game. Anytime you have another team that plays in, it's right here. It's, there's 2 teams in this city. So we'll see what happens.
I'm trying to think all the things that I got on you about so people don't say afterwards, oh, you didn't confront him with this, confront him with that, because I can't think all of them, Hard Knocks was one. Can you stop cursing on it? I mean, geez. I mean, I got called a prude for that, but I mean, geez, sound like you only knew 2 words on that show. I mean, except the Get Snacks line was a good line. I like that. But you went on there and cursed a blue streak on that show.
You know what? I apologize for nothing because, I do 1,000 interviews a year. Right. Have you ever heard me cuss in an interview?
No, I don't think so.
No.
So why'd you curse there?
Because I'm in a different environment. When I'm in, I don't protest to be perfect, and I don't.
No, none of us are.
This is the thing exactly. Right. And when I'm in there in front of my team, and I'm sitting back telling my team and our football team that, hey, we're going to be ourselves in this, and let's just have fun. Let's let the entire league and the country see who we are. I'm not going to change. I'd be the biggest hypocrite of all time. This is how I talk to my team. There's no phoniness about it. This is how I am.
Did you like how you guys were depicted on Hard Knocks? Or did you have any problem with it?
The thing that I really liked about it was that it showed, our facilities. It showed the interaction with our players that they have for each other. But the biggest thing was, if there was one negative about it, is that this football team is one of the hardest working teams that you can be around.
There's a feeling that you are not a disciplinarian, that you let your play. And listen, you've got some guys who have been on the wrong side of the law. Everyone does. You might. I don't know if you have more. I haven't counted up. I think every team has some. You got some guys. I didn't like the way you handled Braylon Edwards. I thought he should have been suspended for the game after that problem he had. You got some questionable guys. I think everyone does. Do you think you let your players walk all over you? Are you a disciplinarian, or you have rules, or you let your players run the asylum here?
Well, I think that's the biggest misconception of me, because I'm probably harder on my guys than anybody.
You think you are?
I think so. I know so. But when you look at it, are
you strict with your players?
Without question. Okay. Because all I want, number one, I want them to be we're accountable to each other, and there is no question about that. But when you look at it, we've had one arrest, since I've been the head coach here, and we're going on our second, our 3rd year now, and things like that. And again, in society, people make mistakes. I'm not a hypocrite saying that, that, oh no, this is, whatever. Hey, look, I've made tons of mistakes.
No, I never said he shouldn't ever play again. I just thought he should have gotten more than a quarter. That's all, as a punishment.
I think when you look at the comparing it to other teams, there was teams that had 6 in one off season, not one player suspended for any time. all that. I'm not, we'll look at all the facts and we'll always do what we think's in the best interest of our football team and that individual.
Have I or anyone else who's been critical of you in the last 2 years said something that really bothered you? Has there been anything? Forget stuff about your family. Stuff with your family is, to me, off limits. I mean, you'll never get that out of me. You've never heard a word out of that with me. I don't ever talk about people's family, so that's off limits. But have you felt that there's anything that's been said about you or anything that has been a criticism that you felt was really unfair in your 2 years in New York?
I try to read almost everything, and I look at it differently. I want to see what our